Hello.
Is it happening?
It's happening.
Wow.
Hopefully your mic is on and working. Guys, we're here. This isn't Matt Steele.
No, Matt Steele's gone through a transformation.
Yes, you look very different, Matt Steele. How's everybody doing today? People are here. James is happy that Donald Trump is a felon. Let's fucking go, people. It's true. I'm with James.
What a week, huh?
I know, totally. What a week. It's been crazy. It has been something special. Michael Smith, Steele, what happened? Hi, Divas. Hi, Jake. Jake, if you don't know, this is Rory to my right.
Hi, Jake.
It's your left. Big change, Scott says. It is. Everything's changing. McKenna, hi. Thank you for being here. How's everybody doing today? Are we still on the high of, Donald Trump's a fucking felon? Because, that was a great day. Happy Pride. Guilty on 34 counts. It's true.
All 34.
All
out of
34. Guilty. Guilty as charged. Jeanette's here. Kaylee. It just, that was a wonderful moment for me. And I think for us. Matt S. looks so different. Grace says it.
I think we should just do the whole episode where we don't address that I'm not Matt Steele.
No, I think that's always best. Steele was replaced because he insisted the Spice Girls get that far in the bracket. Oh, that's funny. Yes, we had a debut singles bracket, and Matt Steele did push.
I heard it was controversial.
Very controversial because, Matt Steele pushed Wannabe to top 2.
Of all the debut singles.
All the debut singles. So he pushed it over Vision of Love.
Well,
I mean, if anyone doesn't know, Rory's another big Mariah fan. Oh, so the podcast will be an hour and a half. Half Mariah talk. Hey!
You're not wrong.
You're not?
You're not wrong.
People need to know about MC.
But Steele is a pretty MC positive person.
He is very Mariah positive these days.
But it has a lot to do with your influence.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, he brought me to Carol Channing in musical theater, and I brought him to Miss Mariah Carey. So, welcome. If you're new to Mariah, welcome to her.
But really, there's no excuse
to
be new to Mariah.
I
at
know.
This point. I mean,
I know.
if you're 10 years old, congratulations, welcome.
Oh yeah, Matt P. I remember Rory from the Mariah's World reviews from way back in the day. Wow, we were just talking about Mariah's World.
That is so. We actually were before because we were eating food before we got on here. But that's so funny that they remember. Yes, Mariah's World, one season of entertainment.
Yes, absolutely entertainment. It was entertaining.
Everyone should be Mariah positive, says Tyler, and I
Tyler's
agree
right.
with Tyler.
Tyler's right.
Okay, Tyler.
Hold on. Oh, everything's good. Okay. First live podcast from Marco. Yeah, so thank you for joining. We're so happy to have you. Hey, Montrez. Glad we're all MC plus here. It's true. Maybe after equals MC squared, we could do Mariah Positive as the new album.
Oh, that would be fun.
It would be great. Got to get more math.
Well, Matt had come on my podcast and talked about a theory that you had that she was coming out with a dance record.
Oh.
Now, you have perhaps revised that theory into thinking that for Pride Month, that the Rainbow Dance remix is going to finally be released. Yes. And we heard it at LA Pride last summer.
We did.
And I had forgotten a little bit because I was in it was such a euphoric experience. There was so much to remember.
It really was.
You know?
It was, yes. No, I remember when she started singing Rainbow, and there was the dance mix, obviously, and I was like, wait, there's no dance mix to fucking Rainbow.
This wasn't part of MC30.
It was not.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
And so I knew it was something new. I didn't know if we'd ever hear it. Because remember that clip of a beautiful dance mix that she put out? It's on SoundCloud, a maybe 30-second clip of her belting her face off over a dance mix of Beautiful. And we never got it. Never got it. It was a sad day.
You were always the king or queen of the dance remixes. I handled the R&B remix department, and you handled the dance remix department.
That was our tortured poets department at the time.
That's right, and continues to be. Oh, but we're not keeping up with the things that the people are saying.
Oh, MC Bisexual era, please. I will never stop wanting the Mariah Rock album from the 90s.
The chick one?
The chick one, which is supposedly coming. Not worry, but I have a feeling that Millie Bobby Brown is involved somehow.
Okay.
And I don't know if she sings or maybe she loves
she has
or
a
does
hot
rock
husband.
music.
I know
does
that.
She? Congrats
to
her.
Guy that she's been with.
Oh, I don't.
They're a cute couple.
I'm not plugged into Millie, but I hope she's well.
As do I. I don't know anything about her except that she hangs out with Mariah. And
hey,
she's a hot husband.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, I'm trying to think if anything else has even been going on in life besides that. The thing is, I can ride high on the Trump conviction for so long. This is truly what we want. MC on Act 3. I mean, Mariah and Beyonce collaborating has always been the dream. I don't know if like we need a rock collaboration of the two of them, but you never know. You never know.
Well, she didn't have. There were no credited features on Act 1.
Were there credited features on Act 1? There's that. Who's on Energy with her? Someone's rapping on Energy. And then Miley's obviously on Act 2.
Well, yes. Yeah, of course. There were more features in Dolly.
Yes, absolutely. There were more features on Act 2. So maybe Act 3 is all features. Maybe it's all duets.
Well, you know, I
Beam
was obsessed with the Toni Braxton remix to Cuff It, which I thought should have been officially released.
And I don't know. I mean, you know, the only impression I can do is Toni Braxton, right?
Is that your only good one?
Only one.
Go ahead.
I only think of you inside of my private love. Can't imagine you touching my private. Imagine tuning in for this and be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, everyone. This is where the show gets canceled.
Can't help but touch myself. I want you so bad, babe.
It's so fun to do.
I mean, it's that's the thing. It's nice to have a voice that's so unique. That
well, when Toni did it, she recorded herself in the bathroom singing along to Cuff It.
Yes,
and it was like she was doing a Toni Braxton impression of herself.
I know exactly. Cuff It is such a good song too.
It's my favorite song from the whole project so far.
Is it really?
Cuff It's like
I'm trying to think.
It's irresistible, and it had such a long shelf life.
Yes.
And it's like infectious.
It is very infectious. I really love Daughter on the new record. That is my favorite on the new one.
What do you love about it?
Everything. I mean, I love that she's singing about murdering a man in a bathroom. I love the storytelling aspect.
You've always loved a murder in a bathroom.
I love a murder in a bathroom.
I've heard this about you.
I love the orchestral instrumentation. I love everything about it. It's just a great song. I bet Palmer could do a Macy Gray impression. I don't know
let's
that I
try
can.
it.
I don't know too much about Macy.
I would love that. But you remember the big hit.
I do. I gotta say goodbye and I joke.
That's not bad.
It's all right. It's just raspy. That's all I know about Macy Gray. Just joined the live and thought we got a different multiverse deal. This is multiverse. I do like the not explaining.
Yes, and we should every time after this.
Hey,
let's just not.
I mean, once the podcast really starts, we'll talk about it. But yeah, this is Rory. Everyone welcome Rory. This is Rory. Welcome him to the podcast. We do this every week, and I hope you guys enjoy him. He is wise. He's kind. We've been friends since #Beautiful Release. So that was 11 years ago now, which is
wild.
Unbelievable.
Which is wild.
And yes, went to NYU as well, was in Matt Steele's year.
Which is a lot of years younger than yours,
nope,
which a lot of people don't know.
Actually, not a lot of years. One is not a lot of years. So...
we're just Matt Steele and I are the same age. We're a lot younger than Matt Palmer, and so I can understand why people in the audience are getting this confused for each other.
Not true, but sure. Cuff It is one of the best songs Beyonce's ever done. I do love Cuff It. Dua should cover some Toni songs. They have the same range. That's funny. But really, what happened to Matt Steele? Matt Steele is in Chicago.
But really, what happened?
He's in Chicago, and he's at a film festival, which we'll talk a little bit more about on the podcast. Johnny is crying, I think, of happiness. Hopefully he's feeling joy that we're here today.
And also, I'm so sorry, Johnny.
And I'm so sorry for your loss.
If that's why.
If that's what we're saying. Rory is kind of...
Uh-oh.
Guys, we're keeping it PG, guys. He may have his arms out.
Listen.
But he has things to say.
Rory is...
Do y'all see Nene sing Cuff It? I didn't.
No.
I saw Nene sing... I always think of her singing Have You Ever. There's a very funny clip of Nene singing Have You Ever.
Like in current times?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
okay.
Current in the past, 7 years.
Okay.
But not in like Have You Ever time. It's really funny. Is Rory a full name, a first full name or nickname?
No, Rory's my full name. Is my government name. A lot of people think it's short for something, but it's Rory. My name is Rory James, and that's how you can find me on IG. It's Rory James.
It's true. It's Rory James. Sorry, this thing is telling me to do something. So you talk to the people while I see what this is about.
Okay, great. So the next person, said a nice thing. That's so sweet. Oh my gosh. Johnny, love you. No rated R podcast except the Rihanna album. How do you feel about the rated R? Let's talk about all of the, everyone has a controversial Turning Point album. Rihanna's, I think, was rated R. Beyonce's was the 4 album. What do you think about the rated R album?
I love.
I like Rude Boy.
Rude Boy is good.
And what's
the song on Rated R?
The Accident.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
Car bomb.
Yes, firebomb. Firebomb.
Well, you blew up something.
Firebomb. I think firebomb is great.
Firebomb's great.
I think it's
Russian Roulette, not so much.
It's okay. It's just not my favorite Rihanna album. Like, I was happy when Rihanna came back for the Loud era, and I was like, this is the Rihanna.
That was a big
era, big album.
What's my name? Yes.
Oh, no. I heard a mashup of Digital Love by Daft Punk and Cuff It. That was the moment I learned to enjoy a fan mashup. I love that. Juan is in Chicago. Mr. James, Rude Boy is a Bop. Firebomb is my favorite Rihanna song. Yes, it's up there for me. Absolutely. That is a classic. Like, I can't believe that wasn't a
single.
It should have been.
It should have been.
Talking about rock eras, then that could have been fucking Rihanna and Beyonce finally collaborating on Act 3. I would have loved that. I like Russian Roulette a lot. That's nice. I don't dislike Russian Roulette, but I like single-wise, it seems like
It was a weird one to go first.
Weird one to go.
But it was a Neo. Wasn't it a Neo?
Was it a Neo? I think at
that time, anytime Neo did something, people were.
You know what song? Which it's okay, but it's very Neo. It's like, this is stupid. I'm not stupid. That's on that album, Stupid in Love.
I don't think I remember.
Oh, it's very Neo, and it's like, okay, say stupid more. Like, I get it. Like, and I love Neo, but it's a lot.
Rihanna now has 7 diamond singles.
Oh, congratulations to her.
Yeah.
Hard is great. I don't love Rockstar 101. Love you guys from Iowa. Oh, thank you, Mel. We love you. What are the 7 diamond singles? I wonder if anyone can run them down. I remember her.
Well, I think Diamonds is one of them.
I would hope so. It would be too weird if it wasn't. I assume Umbrella. Rory, Faith Billy track.
Oh my gosh. So this has like gotten me in trouble on TikTok this week because I was just enjoying Billie Eilish and other artists' fans were getting mad about it.
What other artist?
Oh, we haven't even started the real podcast yet. I'm not going to make you guys mad.
Don't worry. You guys can guess the artist. And it's fine. We all joke about folklore and stuff here. It's fine. We're all friends.
But I am so obsessed right now with Billie's why am I blanking on the
album?
The one with Phineas, the
Lunch?
No, the really good one.
Oh, well, I mean, there are a lot of good ones.
Give me the
is it the Birds of a Feather?
Birds of a Feather.
Okay.
Oh my God, I love Birds of a Feather, you guys. It feels like this is what I said. Birds of a Feather sounds like how the 90s felt.
Yes, I feel the exact same way.
It feels like it almost feels like Sophie B. Hawkins and like this like euphoric like middle of the 90s. And again, I was a child then, so this could just be my own like nostalgia.
Yes.
My own nostalgia,
you gotta say.
But I think that Billie and Phineas are tapping into something that's so like transgenerational. Makes it sound like someone who's transitioning between generations. But you know what I mean? That they're like they're not like stuck in their own time. They can kind of relate to different time periods, and I love that song so much.
It's great.
I also love
Chihiro is a good one. People are pointing out.
Billie's also Everything I Wanted. She wrote that like when she was first blowing up, right? And it's actually kind of a depressing song sonically. But it's so beautiful. I love that song too.
I love My Future. That is a Billie song that's like kind of earlier on. That's so good. It like feels like
Is that on the first album?
It's not on the album, but it's like a kind of a single that came out in between the first and second album, maybe. And it just is very like, I don't know. It's just lovely, and it feels like it's going to be a big Billie ballad, like the way you would imagine it. And then it has this lovely beat that comes in halfway through.
And she switches it up sometimes. That's what I love about her. Yeah.
And, I love that Barbie song too. Like she can write a song for a soundtrack.
The way she sang it at the Oscars, I was so blown away.
Unbelievable. I was like, oh, look at those runs.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. Is the new Billie some same sad girl music? Because I'll pass if it is. It's not really. Like, there's some sad stuff on it, but I think there's a lot more beat and like production than people imagine.
Tyler, I totally agree with you about Everything I Wanted.
Very sad, but very beautiful. I love the new hair on Rory or on Billie.
It has to know. It can't be either of us.
It can't be. No. It's weird that Everything I Wanted isn't on that first album. Is Everything I Wanted the song that she won that Grammy for?
The reason, I think because it came after. I think they put out the album and it was like a re-release thing or something.
Okay, all right. OMG, it's been a minute since I heard the name Sophie
B.
Hawkins.
Hawkins. As I lay me down to sleep. You don't remember that song?
I don't,
This I
sorry.
pray. Well, you're older than me, so you should. Sophie B. Hawkins, she also did Damn If I Was
I know that.
Your
I've
Love.
covered that song before.
Okay, well, As I Lay Me Down was also really
Okay,
great.
I didn't know
so.
that. I'm thinking Paula Cole. Is that a similar vibe?
Where Have All the Cowboys Gone was
yes,
great.
That was good. I know everyone always thinks about the Dawson's Creek theme, but where have always...
I don't want to wait. We talk about this on my podcast like every other week. For our lives to be over.
Did you guys know that Brandy has a demo of Rihanna's Stupid in Love? No,
I
did not.
No.
And I also read somewhere on Twitter that Brandy has a demo of J-Lo's Louboutins, which is a great song.
I have heard that.
I need to hear that.
I
like Louboutins a lot. I think it's a great song.
It's so superficial, but actually really great. And I love The Dream.
Yeah, no, The Dream. I love The Dream. Yeah. And I think it's great that he works with Beyonce so much, but I would like him to do songs for other artists.
Maybe come back to Mariah Land.
Exactly. And he said, like, I had such a great time working with her. There's, like, never been a bad experience.
Why wouldn't we? Yeah. Why wouldn't we do it again?
I know. And Maxwell, who was in the chat, I think Memoirs is, like, one of his top 3 Mariah albums ever.
Well, you know how I feel about More Than Just Friends.
Oh, a classic.
More Than Just Friends is a fucking bop.
What is Rory's podcast?
Oh my gosh, thank you for asking.
I know, the promo.
Rory's podcast is I'm Super Excited with Rory James, where every week we come out on Thursdays. Well, we've come out a while ago. And you can follow me at It's Rory James on socials. Thank you for asking. That was so sweet.
That's very sweet.
J-Lo has had a rough week. Should we wait to the podcast to talk about it?
We're going to wait to the
podcast to talk about it.
All right.
Look at this. I defer to you. You're in charge here. This is the only context in my life where I don't assume control because I'm on your show.
I mean, it's good that you're a lovely guest and a lovely co-host because I feel like, again, it would be difficult for most people to just be like, not just we're going to record a podcast today, but like we're going to record it live in front of I always want to say studio audience, but it's like, it's fun. It's the interactions and like you being a comic. You get it.
Well, and by the way, I was going to tell these people, you guys, I'm shooting a comedy special this summer. So if you follow me on socials and you want to come see a fun comedy show and you're in LA, follow me and you can find out how to do it. So allow me to just plug things
anything else
now.
You can plug.
Plugging it up, baby.
Hey, we have 79 people here talking, wanting to be. Palmer's
always in charge. That's not
true. I'm not in charge when I go on your show. I'm very deferential.
Yes.
I wait till I'm brought in until I speak.
But did Matt still get a haircut? Yes, it's me, you guys. It's me, Matt Steele. And Memoirs is so great. Inseparable. That's a good one. Says Maxwell.
And that opener written with a person that we don't. Well, he didn't co-write the original version, did he?
R. Kelly?
Yeah.
I think he was only on the remix.
Great. So yeah, you can listen to that original version. Where is Janie? Justice for Janie. Janie is flying to New York tomorrow. So I didn't want to.
I got to spend time with Janie at your birthday, and it was a delight.
An icon.
She's a delight.
Yeah, we love Janie. Justice for Janie. Janie will be back here one day, I promise you. But she's flying. She's going to be in a live show in New York tomorrow night. I didn't want to burden her with 2 gay match recording. And Rory, and then right when I was like, I need to reach out to someone. And
anyone.
Right as it's just anybody. You texted me right then. It's like, we needed to hang out. And I was like, I
did.
We can hang out and make content.
Yes.
The best kind of hangs. Palmer will let you press the record button if you're a good boy. My God, I am going to ask you to press that record button at some point, but not yet. Palmer is very in charge. Guys, I'm not bossy or anything. It's just like at least when we're talking about like the tech of it all, I know more about the tech. Like I bought that fucking computer. You see that computer that's shining at you? I bought that computer for these live streams.
No, I will say that ever since I've known Palmer, you have been like the tech arrangement is beyond.
I'm all about technology.
Yes.
I'm all about technology.
You invest in the good quality.
You got to.
But yes, you're a little bit. This is where you're dumb.
My God. I don't know if that's how I would describe it, but yes, I tried.
Tech dumb.
I'm glad we're not recording this for the podcast. We'd have to call this episode Tech Dumb. Oh my God. It's a positive thing. You're a leader. Thank you. You are bossy and I love it. Okay. I'll take leader. My favorite song from Memoirs is Standing O. I love Standing O too. And I thought it should have been
Standing O is great.
As a possible single, but people were like, how many songs can she put out? But like, whatever. They're a little different.
Well, we would have done the memoirs singles completely
What would
differently.
we? We're literally proving Grace right by bringing Mariah back in whenever we talk about anything. But what would we choose for?
Well, Obsessed had to go first.
Of course, that was right.
The question of the second.
Yes, Ribbon. Sorry,
Ribbon was good. I would have I don't think you had to do the formula of the ballad second. I would have done Obsessed into more than just Friends. Keep the up tempo going, and then do Angels Cry.
Interesting. Boom. I would have done second ballad. I would have said Obsessed, Hate You, then More Than Just Friends.
I love Hate You so much, but I don't see a world in which it would be commercially successful.
It's very slow, and I realize that. The remix is excellent. So for, a station...
The remix is great.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And for people who needed to get a little bit more beat underneath it, they could listen to that remix, which supposedly... she's going to put out on streaming, right? That's what she said in one of those interviews.
She did reference it, yes.
Answered some questions.
She answered. There were questions that were asked.
There were questions asked for sure, and she answered halfway. Some of them.
Yes.
Sure. Have you guys heard "Cowboys Are Secretly Fond of Each Other" by Orville Peck and Willie Nelson? No, I've not. I don't know Orville Peck's music very well.
I saw Brokeback Mountain.
I also saw Brokeback Mountain.
And it awakened some things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It kind of lulled me to sleep. I thought it was a little slow, but we love it.
I think there should have been more dicks. Can we say that?
I don't need the dicks.
Okay.
But I'd like it to be less like,
do these people know about how you feel about it? Nudes and you don't like them, or do we not?
No, I mean you can talk about it if you want to, but it's usually more of a PG podcast. But yeah,
Birds of a Feather sounds like it could be on Eternal Sunshine.
Absolutely
I believe, yes.
Thank you, William. I do appreciate the shirt. This Chapel Roan shirt I received from Jackson when he was trying to buy us tickets to Chapel Roan and Olivia Rodrigo and saw the prices and was like, "Bitch, you're getting a shirt." Like that's all you got. Candy Bling is my favorite from Memoirs. I love Candy Bling.
Candy Bling is fun.
Always go up tempo, don't start an era.
You know what
slow.
Candy Bling feels like is snuggling with somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
It feels like snuggling with somebody you're really comfy with on an autumn day.
It's like, obviously dedicated to someone in her life who I believe has passed away, but it doesn't feel like as on the nose as like a bye-bye or a One Sweet Day.
William, I totally feel seen and I appreciate you. Thank you.
That is funny. William says Rory having a straight boy voice.
People in my TikTok comments are always like, "You sound like Joe Swanson from Family Guy," and I'm like, until I fucking start talking about Mariah's single sequence.
Hey,
yeah.
What does Rory think of Chapel? Have you even heard Chapel Roan yet?
No.
All right, I'll send you some songs. You're gonna like her. She's good. She's
okay.
And no one's commenting on my straight boy voice. What's up with that?
Well,
what's up with that?
It's lovely.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the podcast. I love sports, Dodgers.
Well,
Yankees.
I mentioned to you guys earlier. I'm taping a comedy special this summer, and I might schedule it around Matt Palmer's availability, just because. Wouldn't you want this laugh on your comedy album? I mean, this is the.
It would cut through.
It cuts.
It would cut through.
This is what we're all here for.
Living for all the Memoirs love tonight.
Memoirs love.
It's true.
Is there a song we're forgetting? Is there something we should
that we
acknowledge?
really love? I mean, Ribbon.
Well, It's a Rap got a lot of love. That's for sure.
Don't answer that, Rory. Just real quick.
Rory, just be obedient.
That was a jump scare. Hey, my mask voice is just really good. I love that straight guy voice. See, it's good.
You know what? Listen, I have few things to offer, and this is one of them.
I hope her next first single should go back to pop like Heartbreaker, then go back to R&B like a ballad. Mariah's talking shit about name 5 Dodgers songs. That's funny. Mariah's been talking shit about Almost Home online recently.
I'm not happy about it. I love Almost Home.
Mariah and her pop. I mean, she did just do Yes and remix, so she has some pop in her. I'd think that we'd get more dance than straight up pop, but you never know. I like About My Face as well. Yes, I like that too. And
About My Face. That's a great one. About My Face, boy.
And the Mariah and Nicki collaboration in the remix.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was a fun time. I miss when everyone got along. I can name some Dodgers players. Shohei Ohtani. Mookie Betts. He's black. No one show this to Jackson. He's going to kill me.
We just saw Jackson.
We did, but he left, so we can't
out.
hear this. What are other Dodgers players? You don't know.
No. But I grew up with enough Boston sports that It was enough for me.
Yeah, that was all you needed.
I had to play basketball and baseball for the first 16 years of my life.
My worst time was when I was forced to play baseball specifically. It was just like, oh.
What position did you play?
Right field. Come on.
Put him in the outfield. Put old Palmer in the outfield.
Put him in the outfield. He's not catching shit.
That's what it's going to have to be.
Saw Chapel at Boston Calling last week, and I think it was the first crowd I've seen that truly looked 50% gays and 50% lesbians. Oh, I love that she's bringing the queer people together for Pride Month. That's beautiful. Thank you, Chapel. I think she's like, it's like if Kesha had a little bit more, like Kesha meets Olivia Rodrigo, and great vocalist and great stage presence. Like you would like her. The perfect rollout is always an up-tempo for the summer, an uplifting ballad for autumn, a Christmas single, and a remix for the Grammy-nominated first single. Well, I think you could confuse the market if you're putting out a Christmas single the same year you're putting out your album you should be promoting. Like, Mariah was just focused on Christmas that year in 94, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. Boston in the house, yes.
Boston in the house. Okay, Johnny.
Johnny loves Boston.
Duncan. You know, what do you get at Duncan?
And is it all just Dunkin' now? Because the one by us is still Dunkin' Donuts. But
yes, I did notice that. Some of them are still holding on to the. I was in Boston for what was it in April, and I was staying along the Boston Common, and those Dunkin' in the middle of the city where it had become no longer Dunkin' Donuts as they were just Dunkin'. Yeah, but it's a big brand transformation.
I feel like it's going to take me a minute to get used to it still.
Ben Affleck seems somehow involved.
I'm sure he is.
But for me, it's just about a breakfast sandwich. And so, because I don't even drink coffee.
Yeah, you're not even a coffee person.
No, are you?
I mean, I'm kind of moving in. I got an espresso, and so I can make my own little lattes at home now.
Is it that me espresso?
It is that me espresso.
Because that's what I like to ask guys when they are. It turns out, this is a joke that I do, is that I always thought it was that me espresso, but it turns out the guy I was hooking up was just on a lot of cocaine.
That's really beautiful.
Unfortunately.
That's really too
So
bad.
It wasn't just me.
Do we care that Halsey is releasing new music this week? I'm excited for all the little Halsey fans out there. Personally, I wish her well, but I don't know her music so well.
I would love like a something that sounds like East Side, or something that sounds like Now or Never. Remember that song that she did? You don't remember that song?
No, I don't. Since like New Americana, I don't know anything about Halsey. And that song with the Chainsmokers, that was everywhere.
She had a good stint that I can appreciate.
You know what song I didn't like? I'm Bad at Love. I never liked that song.
I liked Bad at Love. What I didn't like was Without Me.
Oh.
Okay. Got it, girl.
Right.
But that was a big hit for her. So
it was a big hit. I know. By the way, it's okay that you're Rory. It's okay that your name isn't Matt. You can say it's your middle name. Look. I know that was a dig at me, Michael Smith. I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
Check it out. Yeah, Tyler will check it out. Tyler's young. Tyler's like Gen Z. Okay, should we get started for real?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Are you ready?
This is a great warm-up.
Okay, so
I can't even believe we haven't even started yet.
I know, right? What I'm going to request from you is that you're going to hit that start recording button on that.
And by request...
See how I'm not being bossy in the slightest, and I'm being nice?
This is like the most sub I've ever been. Okay, so what do I press?
There's a start recording button, so just on the trackpad, yeah, you see. And then get you got the mouse up, click the start recording at the top right of the window. Yeah, you got it. Oh my God, killer.
Nailed it, you guys.
Hello?
Hello.
Guys, we're back, and you're hearing a voice that's not Matt Steele's, and the reason for that is we have Rory James on the podcast with us this week. Rory James, say hi to the people.
It's me, Matt Steele.
Nope.
I've made some changes. I'm rebranded.
It's a big rebrand, much like Dunkin' Donuts we were just mentioning.
Yeah, well, as you go along, you sometimes have to make some changes, and I am Matt Steele, and welcome to the show.
You do sound very different, Matt Steele. And before we get into the show, I do have to point out that Matt Steele is not here because he is in Chicago at a film festival, and he just posted a picture in the Discord, which, by the way, if you're not on the Discord, go to patreon.com/2gaymatch, join the Discord. He is at the Crown Point International Film Festival and showed us that he has won Best Actor in a Feature Film for his performance in Devo's Best of Fest 2024. So everyone, give it up for Matt Steele, award-winning actor extraordinary. We love you. We're so proud of you. Devo's is excellent, and it's available now.
Congratulations,
right?
Matt Steele. That's an amazing reason for him to not be on the program.
I know.
Tonight. That's a good excuse.
What did we win tonight?
I'll make up some awards and we can
That would be great.
Announce them later. But good, that's amazing.
Yes, it's amazing. Okay, hold on. We'll go take our break. I'm gonna put some ads up. You might get an ad, you might not.
Maybe.
You might. I hope you do. You gotta pay the bills. Gotta pay the bills. Okay, ads insert. Yeah, come on, Devos. Work. Yes, DL. Yes, I'm so glad that people are happy. I'm glad I remember, because I was like, I gotta remember to call it out up top or I'm gonna forget, and I can't forget. It's a big thing.
You did it.
I'm glad it came up.
You have so many jobs.
I know, there's a lot to do here. But okay, I think if there was an ad, maybe it's over. Oh, no. Oh, we got the ad. I feel like I never get the ad, but today we did.
You don't know until you're doing it?
Yeah, we don't know. Sometimes, like, we say we've clicked the ad and people are like, I didn't get one. It's like, oops. Well, guess we're not getting paid content this week. Okay, I'll wait for my ad to end and then we'll go into our first part of the podcast.
We love it.
Blah, 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 blah. Nope, I pay for YouTube. Congratulations to Matt Steele. Absolutely. Okay. All right, I will start. Let me get my shit ready. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Two Game Match, the podcast. It's Matt Palmer, and like I mentioned earlier, it's Rory James.
Well, so happy to be here. Honestly honored.
We are so happy to have you. And Rory, I have one big question for you that we like to start off the podcast, just getting to know how each other's weeks were. And I'd like to know, how was your week, Rory James?
Thank you for asking.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I feel like so honored. My week was good. I've been, as you know, I've been getting ready for a comedy special that I'm taping this summer.
Yes.
I'm a stand-up comedian, and you can follow me at It's Rory James. And I'm taping my first comedy album and my first comedy special this summer here in LA. And so just putting that together is like a big, tall order. But it's been really exciting because it's sort of been a amalgamation of all of the material that I've had thus far.
Totally.
And you know about making bodies of work. It's it's almost like it's pressure you really put on yourself.
Right.
Because you really want to make this a statement for where you're at in your career. And as a comic, I just really want to put together my funniest stuff and make it thread it together in a way that's sort of like not just joke,
Right.
but something that like feels like a body of work.
Yeah, you're telling a story. Mariah taught us about album sequencing.
That's what I'm saying. And that really does. It's funny because they always say comedians all want to be rock stars and rock stars want to be comedians. And Madonna has done stand up on Fallon, and a lot of comedians have dipped their.
Wasn't Katy Perry going to be a comedian for a second there?
Yeah, and Kate Hudson just put out an album,
She did.
and I don't hate on that at all. And so, so I'm putting together my first comedy album and special, and it's gonna come out at the end of the year. But that's what I've been focusing on.
That's so exciting!
Thank you so much. How was your week?
My week was good. I feel like it was a lot less like creative, but that's okay.
You were pushing all these buttons.
I know I was doing a lot of
does a lot of it
tech for the podcast per usual. But no, last week. We also had a very fun $10 patron only watch party. It was our first watch party we've ever had.
What were we watching?
We were watching the new Gaga Chromatica ball that is up on Max. I was going to call it HBO Max, but that is no longer. Okay. And so, yes, we watched this whole concert, and I was just like, wow, you forget how many like excellent fucking singles Lady Gaga has had throughout her career, especially right up top. And I, for some reason, the whole time, I'm a big paparazzi person. The whole time we were watching, I was like, she ain't doing paparazzi. I just could feel it in my bones, and she didn't. But she did a lot of great songs. She did a beautiful piano version of Edge of Glory. I'm a big Edge of Glory person as well. And she did a lot of my favorites off of Chromatica, featuring Alice and Babylon, which are two of my top two, up there with Plastic Doll, which I don't think she did Plastic Doll at the show. But either way, it was fun to watch and fun to watch along with people, and made me feel like, okay, we could do this. Like, we could all get together and watch Lemonade on the internet. We could watch Mariah Carey Tokyo Dome, which everyone needs to see. Like, if you want to hear
Palmer's
a vocalist,
favorite, you guys.
Like, my favorite concert I have ever seen is always going to be 1996 Tokyo Dome.
It's pretty remarkable.
It's unreal.
Hero, especially.
And Grace, before we started, was like, half this podcast is going to be about Mariah, and we're going to try to talk about other things. But you have two lambs in the building today, all right? So Mariah's going to come up.
What am I supposed to do?
What are we supposed to do? Not talk about the Queen? That'd be so weird. But yes, that was generally my week. I have some reality TV show thoughts I'm going to save until later because I know.
Okay, save them.
Much like you and much like Matt Steele, no one watches Bravo but me, it seems. None of the gays that sit next to me in this chair watch Bravo, but I have a lot to say about it. Oh, Grace wants us to mention there was a snippet of a new song at the end of the Gaga Chromatica ball. That is excellent. But yes, I have a lot of feelings that I can't wait to get out later on in the show.
Tyler says vocally untouchable.
It's
Correct.
all true.
Correct.
Should we jump into the news for idiots?
Let's do it, please.
Guys, it's been a big week for a certain former president who we hate. And that person is Donald Trump, and he was found guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business documents in New York. He was found guilty by a jury in New York of being being fraudulent, specifically for falsifying business documents to cover up paying off porn star Stormy Daniels. His sentencing is July 11th. And even though I'm hearing from all corners of the internet that it is unlikely that this man will actually be behind bars for any period of time, God, I hope he is. Like, if nothing else, this, like, the guilty verdict makes me think he's not Teflon Don. He's not immune to anything that happens to him. It is exciting for me to see him get his comeuppance, because it's like he has built his life, his career, everything on being a fraudulent piece of shit, on breaking laws that no one could really pin him down for. And we have 34 reasons why sometimes good things happen in America, and this really brought me so much joy. I'm like flying as a result of this sentencing, truly.
I completely agree, and I really take issue with the stance that when people are, oh, he gets away with everything, and oh, well, this isn't a win because he's gonna get, he can still become president anyway. It's like, that is scarcity mindset, that's victim mindset, that's loser mindset. Like, you don't take on an adversary with they're going to win anyway. Right. And when you get a 34 counts convicted by a jury, he didn't win.
No, he didn't.
And then people say, oh, well, he might not face jail time. Okay, well, he's facing major problems.
And he's a felon. Like,
he's a fucking felon.
I would hope that there are some people that are planning to vote for this person in November who's like, oh, he's fully a criminal. Like, he has been tried by a court of law and was found guilty 34 times over. Like, I would hope that there are people who'd be like, maybe I don't want him to be representative of us. Like, there's so many things you can't do as someone who has been convicted of these crimes. Like, I don't think he can vote anymore. No. I think there are many countries he can't even travel to.
Right.
That's a big part of the job description of being president. Like, do you want him representing you? I am taking the win. We should choose to celebrate this. There's bad news so many days of the year.
Yeah.
Let's take the win for what it was.
Because that's how somebody like that continues to get away with things, is if you act as though, oh, they can. But yes, this is, and so I told you about this earlier, but like, I wanted to gloat. My dad has been dead for 4 years. He died 4 years ago, but I wanted to gloat because my dad he wasn't like a Trump person, but he was a Republican. And I was like, it was so annoying that he didn't get to see Trump lose in 2020. And then I was like, and then he didn't even get to see Trump get convicted of 34 counts. And so I texted my dad, even though he's dead, about this. And I was like, haha, you're dead and Trump's guilty. And then I forgot that somebody has his number now that isn't him. So somebody texted me back and was like, who the hell is this? And I was like, oh, yeah, sorry, you're not my dad. But the point is that, no, this moment does need to be basked in, because otherwise men like him who have gotten so used to power just continue to get away with things. And somebody had a great tweet that was like, I hope the Central Park 5 is somewhere laughing their fucking asses off.
Absolutely.
Because they deserve that.
Yes.
And so, yeah, and what I also loved was that he never thought this would happen.
I know, he really didn't. He thought he was
shocked.
Yes, he thought he was going to get away with everything for the rest of his life, and I'm glad the tides are turning on him in this case, and I'd like to think this is the beginning of a big turn for him, personally, professionally. I don't like to wish ill on most people. I wish ill on them.
When they deserve it.
Yes, he is one of the people on my fucking list.
Yeah.
I wish him ill, absolutely. And you know what? We are confirmed Mariah superfans, but I must say,
confirmed that we did it in a church. Actually.
Yes, I know exactly.
We were baptized, and yeah,
I have to say, it brings me no joy to read this news story. I do not put this woman on the list of Trump of people I wish ill will for. Miss Jennifer Lopez has canceled her tour this year to spend time with her family and friends. She says that she is completely heartsick. She was a month out from starting her This Is Me Now, or This Is Me, the Greatest Hits tour, whatever it ended up being called. And she announced in a statement that she is heartsick and devastated about letting her fans down. Please know I wouldn't do this if it didn't feel like it was absolutely necessary. I promise I will make it up to you, and we will all be together again. I love you all so much. Until next time. My feeling about Miss Lopez is, sure, there's history between our favorite and J-Lo. There's shade being thrown left and right. But this year, if you just go on TikTok, like I have now come to the point where it's like we're kicking this person while she's down a little bit.
Yes.
And it's like, yes, I don't
that.
think this is fun. I think it's sad, and it's also like if the real reason, because the thing is, I don't think her tour was selling well, but from what I understand, it wasn't selling poorly enough that every single date would have been canceled. There is, unfortunately, another rumor going around that she and Ben Affleck may be getting a divorce, and if that is true, it's just like, I just can't imagine having a year like this, you know, as an adult who has spent their life as an artist and a performer, having the public turn against you, what feels like so suddenly. I just feel for her. I get it. Like, she's not, like, there are things to dislike about J-Lo, like the whole, like, singing over Ashanti's vocal track and, like, saying the N-word in I'm Real remix. And, like, she's done things wrong in her life. There are reasons to dislike her for certain things. But this year, I don't know. It's gotten to the point where I feel bad.
Well, what I will say about this is that as a Mariah fan, as we have all, we're aware, Matt and I are both Mariah fans, I'm really sensitive to J-Lo stuff because of the way that J-Lo's career has affected Mariah's career, particularly at a very sensitive time. And I don't think that Jennifer was very sensitive to the way that she may or may not have inadvertently negatively impacted Mariah's career. And I will always hold that against Jennifer. However, I know, particularly women in my life who were so inspired by Jennifer, who I can never, like, I'll never not think about that.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, I understand. And for our generation, J-Lo's influence is remarkable. I mean, and I have such respect for her work ethic. I have such respect for her catalog. For her, the way that, her body at this age, like, that is a discipline in and of its own. But what has happened has been interesting because the way in which that everyone has sort of gone after her at the same time, I almost feel like a hypocrite if I jump on the hey J-Lo bandwagon in the way that people did about Mariah all those years ago, because it just seemed to go from J-Lo's great to, oh, we all hate her, right? And everyone on TikTok was like, yeah, she sucks, doesn't she? And it's like, well, she was kind of always a bitch, but she was also always really good at the job and really beautiful. Yeah. And she had, she doesn't have songs that are good anymore, but she had songs that were good. Yes. But, like, she showed up and did the job. And, like, the work ethic is incredible. Like, there are things about her that I'll always, what I don't like is that, like, it's gone from, I didn't agree with, oh, she's so fucking great. And I also don't agree with she fucking sucks so much.
I know.
Neither of those things are the truth.
Right.
The truth is somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
And I don't like when the internet just suddenly decides, well, yeah, now who sucks?
Right.
You suck. Like, yeah, she was a bitch at the Met Ball. I did a TikTok about that. But, like, that's not her defining moment.
Right.
I might be a bitch at the Met Ball. Like, ask me when I'm invited to the Met Ball. But,
I guess we'll see.
But what did seem to happen here was she did a sequel to an album from 20 years ago that no one fucking needs a sequel to. She dumped how much of her own money into?
I think 20 to 20.
I heard that. 20.
$20
I was going to say it out loud, and then
Yeah,
it sounded too much.
Right.
At least $20 million of her own money into this flop movie based on the album. Yikes, you can't do an arena tour off of that.
Right.
We did. Or they did, and like I'm in it, and then they rebrand it to the Greatest Hits tour, like you said.
Yes,
smart. But then the marriage is falling apart. It seems like such a mess. I think when I saw that the whole thing was canceled, I thought maybe this is like going to save her situation.
It could.
I have no commentary on her marriage, but I think that, like, she's got to fucking slow down because it is not 2002, and we are not touring off of the. This Is Me Then.
Right. It's
album,
true.
Which is what she was trying to do.
And it seems like, because I think she also was at a press conference with Simu Liu and I assume Sterling K. Brown.
Oh, I saw that.
Atlas
that
movie.
Was bad.
And someone asked her a question about Ben Affleck and whether that was going to happen, and Simu Liu shut it down like, oh, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And she was kind of like, you should know better. And someone had a really great point. I will say there was a tweet that was like, well, when your art this entire year has been revisiting this album, celebrating your first go-round with Ben Affleck, you put a $20 million Amazon Prime visual album out about this relationship with Ben Affleck, it kind of is relevant that people ask you questions about your relationship because you've made
this the whole project is about your relationship.
So
that's correct.
So
that's correct.
I think there are things that even if she does things wrong, I don't know. I feel for her. I feel bad for her. I more feel bad for her than anything else because I just feel like she's really getting it. I hope that someone has taken her phone away from her. I hope she doesn't see any of these comments at this point, and she can just be to herself and go through whatever she needs to go through and come back and focus on being an actress and being a mom, and like maybe that's the next stage of her career, and that's a beautiful thing, you know?
Well, you bring up if you want to move on, we can.
No, please.
You bring up an interesting point about like what do you read and what do you not read, because I think there's some of it that you have to shield yourself from, but there's also some of it that if you shield yourself from it too much that you don't understand how you're coming off.
I would hope she'd have someone on her team that can be like, okay, I can kind of distill what the issue is here from what the comments are. She doesn't have to read the direct comments of like, you're such an awful bitch and like you're talentless and like she doesn't need that. Isn't helpful. I'm sure there is a helpful criticism that can be gleaned from this feedback that someone that she could pay could get from her.
Count. Okay, sure.
I foresee that. Oh, I mean, I hate to talk about people on the list again, but
no, please.
Mr. Eminem has decided to name drop Megan Thee Stallion on his new single Houdini. He has a line, which I guess is going to be off of his new album, where it's his last Slim Shady ride or whatever. If I was to ask for Megan Thee Stallion if she would collab with me, would I really have a shot at a feat? Which is clever, kind of a clever allusion, according to him, referring to the fact that Tory Lanez shot this woman. Like, I hate Eminem. We're two Mariah fans, but of course he's on the list because even if we take Mariah out of it, this man has a history of punching down and always feuding with women out of fucking nowhere. Like, who has been name checked in Eminem's songs? Like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera,
Pamela Anderson,
his fucking wife or ex-wife, whoever Kim was her, his mother, Mariah, and now Megan. It's just like, oh my God, why you spend so much of your career? Everyone lauds you as this incredible lyricist. Why do you always have to be saying something shitty about a woman to make yourself feel better, to like get these headlines? Like, I don't understand what is his issue within his wiring that he really hates women this much, because someone was like, well, she mentioned Obsessed on her diss track, like on Hiss. Megan said something about Mariah's Obsessed. It's like, she didn't say a word about Eminem though. Obsessed is a hit song. Sorry that it was a diss to you, but it also was right and is still relevant today. And you, sir, have nothing of use to us at this point. Like, someone had tweeted something like, I wish we could just leave Eminem in 2009, and I completely fucking agree.
Well, Alex Stewart said Eminem's brand is based on being a walking domestic issue, and it's so true. It's like, there's something about, it's so funny being millennials, because we're faced with what, like, there's stuff about the music that I always joke that, like, we grew up on romanticized songs that are not realistic, a lot of them. But Eminem stuff was so toxic, and a lot of the straight men we grew up around made it seem like it was like, that's normal, like it's normal to talk about women, it's normal to talk about gay people or whatever. Right. And now it's like, Eminem, yes, he's a great lyricist, but like the way that he talks about women has like actually never been okay,
right?
And so of course he's gonna go after Meg, who's like already had so much against her,
which is wild. Like, why?
And like congratulations, clever pun.
I know. Is that funny? Like, I'm sure you woke up in the middle of the night and wrote that in your notes app and thought it was like the genius line.
Do we still do puns in rap? I didn't know.
Who does? Slim Shady.
Yeah.
It's just, this man makes me sick.
Well, how about, okay, so this is my joke, was that, so apparently Eminem's new album is the death of Slim Shady. And I was like, why has it taken us all, as homophobic as the 90s were,
right,
that it's taken us this long to realize that Eminem's alter ego, Slim Shady, is the gayest fucking name. Slim Shady. Like, he's skinny, he's snatched, and he's a bitch.
I don't. And you know he's suing some Real Housewives of Potomac right now.
Why?
Because they have a podcast called Reasonable or Shady, and he's like, I have trademarked the word shady. It's like, you will find any level of fame, you will find a woman to attack, won't you?
And he'll also find any place in the Middle East to grow his hair back because he suddenly has hair again now. I don't know where that came from.
I hate that man. I really do, and I guess he has his fans and like.
And hair again.
And
it's
this
fascinating.
Song, you know, I guess it did well on the Spotify charts, but it's like, this has nothing to do with me. This is a part of straight culture I have never been like interested in, never gotten behind, and like I can't believe he still makes headlines every 5 years. Because the last time I checked for Eminem, he was just like recycling songs with Rihanna or Pink on the chorus.
Last time I checked for him, he was in rehab again. But isn't his song called Houdini? Because I thought that was what I only know Dua Lipa's.
That's the only one that matters.
One
Maybe I'm sure he'll take a shot at her next. So everyone, gird your loins because Eminem is so fucking weird. But I think we're off people we hate.
Okay, we've done it.
Yeah, we've had several people we hate discussed. Not J-Lo. We didn't say we hate J-Lo, but the other two. But speaking of women that we love, icons who have been victims to the misogyny of Eminem, Miss Britney Spears. I was going to say is back, but I don't know if that's the phrasing. Has done something for in the public eye again, which is cool. She is on the cover. Well, Tate McRae is on the cover of Gen V magazine, and she is being interviewed by none other than Miss Britney Spears.
I didn't know this was happening. I was so interested when you told me about this.
This was very exciting for me. And like, if you read the questions, these two people are not in the same place. Britney wrote these questions down or told her gay assistant to write them down and email them to her.
Okay.
And it's like Britney says things like, you're an incredible performer. I've seen some of your performances and each one continues to top the next. Where do you find inspiration? She's like, your song You Broke Me First is one of my favorite songs. What's the story behind it and what inspired you to write and record it? I think it's cool because when there are new artists, like when Olivia was coming up and she was on the cover of Rolling Stone back to back with Alanis Morissette, it's cool for me to see Tate McRae, who's had such a big moment with Greedy and Exes this year, like be partnered up with Britney, because that is what I want her to be doing. Like a lot of her album, in my opinion, was very like, I want to be Billie Eilish. I do mid-tempo, like emotional songs and like sing really quietly. But bitch, you can fucking dance. Like you can dance like Normani can dance. Like there are so few young ladies who can really do what Britney did back in the day. And so the fact that she in this magazine is being paired with Britney for this interview makes me think, okay, my dream of a next Tate McRae album being like a dance pop opus is maybe coming through. Like I don't need any more ballads from her. No shade, we love everyone, but give us some shit to dance to, because those were your big hits.
Yeah,
I foresee it. I'm excited.
I just never would imagine that Britney would be interviewing.
I mean,
that was exciting for me to hear.
It's exciting for me that she's truly doing anything outside of like posting on Instagram a couple of times a week. Like I just love Britney so much, and whatever she chooses to do, I will support. She's been through so much, and I'm excited that she finds Tate McRae to be, you know, the heir apparent.
I'm happy for Britney too.
Yes, happy for Britney. Just speaking of Olivia Rodrigo, Sour has become Spotify's most streamed album by a female artist. I think that is unbelievable. It has 12.28 billion streams, and it's also an album that has 11 songs in it, maybe 10. Like it,
not overloading for, you know, because some people put a lot of tracks.
Yes,
on the
and not
album.
just one people. There also
And
Drake
then-
does this.
And then, well, I said some people.
Yes, that's what. Yes,
Some
I'm just
people
saying.
do that.
People could be thinking we're only talking about one lady,
Yeah,
and we're
well.
not. Many people do it, but yes, in the age of Spotify, a lot of people love to bloat an album and be like, okay, well, people will want to listen to the whole
And
thing.
some songs you didn't need.
Some songs you don't need.
Yeah.
We love an editor. We love an album
Love an editor.
for me, it's like the sweet spots for me are between maybe 11 and 16. That's like the length of an album in my head.
It's beautiful. Yes, we're from the CD days.
We
Come
really
on.
are.
Come on.
What can fit on the actual
You
disc?
know, 15 max.
15 max.
But also, it feels, as a comic, I have to say, as a comic, it feels like you're wasting the audience's time if you're exposing them to stuff. I think with musicians, it's like, well, just listen to everything I've done. Well, in a comedy club, if I'm not getting fucking laughs, cut.
And I go next. I'm going to
You
the
have
next
to
thing.
respect your audience,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Apparently the top 5 are Olivia Rodrigo, Sour, number 1, number 2, Dua Lipa's self-titled album, which is interesting. And then number 3, Dua Lipa, Future Nostalgia. 4, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? And then 5, Taylor Swift, Lover, which features giant hit now, Cruel Summer. This is a great list of great albums. I need to re-listen to that first Dua Lipa album because I don't really listen to it outside of the singles. But of course, Future Nostalgia is everything.
Future Nostalgia is big time.
Right, that's ever. And I actually need to be listening more to the new one. I feel like I listened to it that first week it was out, but I haven't gotten back to it as much as I would like.
Yeah.
It had some highlights though. I think it's a good moment.
I'll always root. I root for Dua Lipa for a lot of reasons, and I think that she's somebody who, when they talk smack about her, she grows. Like about the dancing stuff, and then she came in the Grammys and she fucking ate, and
Absolutely.
I was like, when I watched her open the Grammys and eat like that, I was like, that's how I work, is out of spite. I'm like, oh, did you not think I was gonna fucking nail this?
Right.
And she's like,
I know, and she's really
you're
going
like,
for it.
bitch.
I know.
So anyway, keep going.
You're an Olivia person too. You enjoy Olivia?
I do, and so does my mother. In fact.
Love that.
Yes, my mother says, I like that Olivia Rodrigo girl.
I do think she is one of those artists that is cross-generational because
Sheryl Crow likes her.
Exactly.
They
If
sing
Cheryl liked
together,
her, we like her, the kids like her. It's because the music she makes reminds us of music.
And she has respect.
She does have respect.
Yep.
She's always respectful.
I remember watching her watch Miley at the Grammys, and she was sort of like in awe, you know?
Totally. I'm excited for her next album. I am. Okay, sorry. Next up, Adele. She goes off on a concert attendee who yelled out, "Pride sucks" during the Vegas residency. She said, quote, "Did you come to my fucking show and say that Pride sucks? Are you fucking stupid? Don't be so fucking ridiculous. If you have nothing nice to say, shut up, all right?" This is all iconic, and what a beautiful response. It has since come out. He did not say Pride sucks. He said work sucks. And so
why would he say that?
I mean, you know, Adele be talking. She was, I'm sure, telling a story. Something was said. And it just is too bad that this man got read to filth for something that he didn't mean to say, didn't say it. But
I think it's all actually for the best, because at least she got to say that.
That's true. And we all know how she feels about Pride. She's pro-Pride. We were all wondering.
It's actually healing for me to hear any time a famous cool person like defends Pride. I'm like, this is my millennial what's the word, trauma.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, really? Wait, really? Like to this day.
Right.
No, when someone like Adele says that, I'm like, oh wait, I'm okay. Like to this day.
Really? Even now?
Yes. And I'm a big comedian, and I do gay cum jokes, all the time. But for Adele to be like, you're okay, and this is what it is for her to go on the offensive for somebody against
That's true.
you. Like a bully.
I mean, yes.
And it doesn't matter that he wasn't a bully. It's that Adele was like, oh, no, I'll hit him for you. Like, that in 4th grade didn't exist.
That's true.
Know?
That's true. And maybe I take it for granted too much now, because for me it's like, yes, I have a podcast called Two Gay Mats. We the word gay and queerness is so normalized in my head and in my life that I assume everyone's an ally, and unless they're not, and if I find out they're not, I'm like, oh, well then I just don't fuck with you and I have nothing to do with you. I think of my in this time, I think of baseline, you're not a homophobe, which isn't always true. And people should be, applauded for being allies. But it doesn't feel like a lot to ask. I'm glad that Adele is proving us right. That she's
and at Adele's show, it's the Two Gay Mats audience, right? It's it's an Adele who wants to hear Adele sing. It's everybody.
It's everybody.
There are going to be people, even if that wasn't the case, there are going to be. She's prepared for people who are going to not be okay with that. Sure,
but at this point, I think it is, even if you are a homophobe, I think it's socially unacceptable enough to be publicly homophobic.
I would hope so, but I don't,
And
I can't guarantee,
And if that's not the case, if people are publicly homophobic, I hope whatever bad thing happens to them as a result happens to them. They're on my list too. My list is getting long. Every homophobe.
And I like the idea of Adele yelling at them. So good for her.
Yes, she's on the other list. Oh, I could be like Santa, have a good list and a bad list.
I think you already do.
I'm very, I love Christmas. I wouldn't want to go down a chimney though. I'd get soot everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we don't want to be dirty.
No. It was one time my friend Joe does ceramics, and I was like, oh, it'd be fun to make a pot or whatever. And I went and he taught a ceramics class, and I was like, wait, so all of this mud gets on your hands, and y'all are just chill with it?
This does not sound.
It just wasn't for me. I decided to then just take pictures, and I went and got food for everybody. It just wasn't my ministry.
It wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me, and I think that's okay.
Fine, and I think it's okay.
There's a young lady named Pink Pantheress who's a talented new artist who does kind of, I'm like trying to think of, it's almost two-step inspired up-tempo pop music, and her songs are famously very short. And she had an interview with ABC News, and her career took off in 2021 thanks to a few of her tracks going viral on TikTok. And in speaking with ABC News, she had this to say about her short songs. I was able to experiment, and making short songs was just a result of me experimenting. Cool. That is cool. A song doesn't need to be longer than 2 minutes and 30 seconds, in my opinion. We don't need to repeat a verse. We don't need to have a bridge. We don't need it. We don't need a long outro. And to that I say, disagree. Like, I love you, girl. I hope you have I think you're talented, but no. I mean, as someone who grew up when we are millennials, as we mentioned, I would love a verse too. I would love nothing more than a bridge.
You have to have a verse too.
Exactly, because even if we're
you don't have to have a bridge, but you have to have a
You don't have to have a bridge. If you want to just like drop things out and just have like a track.
Tate McRae, great example. No bridge, but second verse.
Second verse. And like I would always fight for a third chorus, but I appreciate that she has her point of view, and like this is her result of experimentation. If she wants to continue making short songs, that's great. No one should take her advice.
Well, it has to do with TikTok songs. It's all about short. But as somebody who comes from comedy, also people actually want to watch an hour-long special if you're fucking funny enough and engaging enough. And like we were saying before about people trying to boost their album streams by putting more tracks on them that are shorter, or songs that are shorter so that you listen to them more and more.
Yes.
It's cheap. It's very cheap.
That's the thing. It just is a result of the TikTok algorithm that people are doing this, and I get why it works and how it works, but babe, I don't want it. To quote my own single, which is I think a good 3 minutes long in 2021, I don't want that. I'd love nothing more than a bridge, an outro, a fade out, some ad libs over a final chorus. That's what makes my heart pitter patter.
And some of the best songs aren't afraid to do that.
And
I love that.
Could you imagine like Can't Take That Away without its bridge? Like it doesn't even make sense.
No,
I was just listening.
It's unsatisfying, and it's also greedy to just want me to listen to it again.
I
it's
know.
An unsatisfying song.
It's greedy. I'd be happy I got this news story just for you. I would not have gotten it if you were not here today.
Oh, I can't wait.
Home Alone fans rejoice. The famed home in Chicago suburbs where Kevin McAllister was left behind on a family trip to Paris went on sale this week, according to a Zillow listing. And it is for sale for $5.25 million. I know you're a big Home Alone person. Let's get the GoFundMe going.
Listen, we were just talking before about how I'd go to Chicago more often because there are a couple of guys there that I know. But maybe I might invest in this property.
Yes.
One of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, people our age. Come on.
I mean, yes.
Millennials love Home Alone. I think everyone loves Home Alone.
I need to rewatch. I didn't grow up with Home Alone, and it's not in my Christmas repertoire.
Oh, I think the people in the comments are going to talk about how much they like Home Alone.
I don't dislike. Do you prefer the first one to the second one? Do you have a preference?
Love them both so much because the first one's at Suburban House in Chicago, and the second one is in New York City. And this was part of my falling in love with. I was like, what does New York City look like? I was like, oh my god, the Plaza. Oh my god, all these places that he would go. The Rockefeller Center.
Yeah.
So. Home Alone's fucking amazing, and I hope that that house ends up in the right hands.
Absolutely.
But, oh my gosh.
You got to go visit. Knock on the door at least. Maybe they'll have an open house or something. You can go.
Yes.
I heard isn't there a felon in the second movie? I'm pretty sure there's a felon.
Well, there are felons in both. It turns out that the villains in
Donald
both
Trump,
movies,
babe.
Oh, you mean Donald Trump?
Yes.
Because also the villains.
Yes, they're criminals.
Yes. But Donald Trump he apparently made as a contingency for them to shoot in the Plaza Hotel. He had to be in it.
I hate that man. He's on the list. He's on the list.
It's awful. I know.
I was so excited when I announced that Knives Out 3 was going to be coming because of this moment. I'm a big fan. I love it. But I also love the lead up to the White Lotus and the Knives Out movies where it's like we're just getting lists of actors who have joined on. And I'm ready to read the list of the week. It is Mila Kunis. It is Daniel Craig.
Mila Kunis is in it? I wanted her to do something like that. That's good.
We have Josh O'Connor from Challengers.
Okay.
We have Kaylee Spaney, who I don't know. Kerry Washington.
Everyone has said, Rory, you need to see Challengers.
Oh, you absolutely need to see
Sounds
Challengers.
like a meme movie.
It is very much a you movie. You're going to love it.
Whenever there's bisexuality going on, I'm like, oh.
Then this is the film for you, darling. You're going to love it. Kaylee Spaney, I don't know. Kerry Washington, friend of Mariah's, interviewed on a podcast. Andrew Scott from that very scary, not scary, but kind of sad movie with Paul Mescal. It was sad. And then Jeremy Renner and Glenn Close. And Matt Steele would be jumping off the walls for Glenn Close. So shout out to her.
And as a fill-in Matt Steele, I'm excited for Glenn Close.
That was
Go
very believable.
Glenn.
You could have won Best Actor at that film festival.
And I'm not anti-Glenn. I'm good with this.
Yeah.
This is great.
We love that. I'm just excited to read more. And the thing is, I know that every week there's going to be like 7 more names because there's so many people in these movies, but I always love them. So I'm glad it's happening.
All I fucking want
Yes.
is for who produces the White Lotus again? What's his name?
Who produces what?
The White Lotus. It's not Ryan.
Oh, Mike White?
Yeah. All I want is for Mike White to be like, that weird gay guy in the tank tops needs to be like the bellboy at the hotel in the next season. Give me a couple of episodes. Maybe it's me like trying unsuccessfully to flirt with the husbands of men who work and who visit the hotel. Whatever the fuck. Like Mike White, if you're listening,
Which
ready.
we know you are. We know
I'm
you're
ready.
listening. You're a 2 Gay Mats fan.
I think that would be a great use for me.
That would be great.
Sorry. Anyway.
Are you going to be talking about the Hacks the show or the season? I guess I can actually.
I'd love to whenever you want to.
But okay, I will just say, because the thing is you haven't watched the last episode, I will just say, at the end of the episode you saw, which is the penultimate episode, something big happens. Spoiler alert, just if you have not watched all of Hacks this season, this is not the final episode I'm talking about, but the episode before, she does get the show. She gets late night. And so going into this final episode was very much like, what are they going to do? Like, what else do we have to show? What other part of this story do we need to see? And I just am, not to oversell this to you before you watch it, but these writers are geniuses. Like, it is such an excellent episode of television, and the thing that happens at the very end, I was like, absolutely, you better work. That's all I'll say.
Well, Deborah Vance is really inspiring to me as a comic because in the show, she is 70 years old, finally getting her due.
Yes.
And it's interesting because they do explore how getting late night when you, at this time, like, what does it mean now?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, when it was the 80s and, like, it was the time slot and you were one of the only 4 white guys who got to do this. But they do get into what it means to be a 70-year-old woman doing this now. And she still fucking wants it, and she still fucking goes for it. But also, it's a different time.
Yes, it is. And I think I was watching an after show because I'm very cool.
I think they're
going to explore that even more next season about like why is this still important? Is this still important? That's going to be a big through line. I just really, really, really love that final episode. And I love that Hacks is a show that I can truly say has gotten better every year that it's
every
out.
Single season. Absolutely.
And I am on the edge of my seat to see what happens next. And I think both, Jean Smart, is that her name?
Jean Smart,
yes. And the actress that plays Ava, both incredible. Both should win Emmys. The show should win Emmys. It was such a joy to watch this entire season. I cannot recommend it enough.
Hannah Einbinder is the name of and she is the daughter of Lorraine Newman, who was one of the first SNL cast members of all time. But yeah, no, Hacks is, as a comic who's like, What's something that comedians often feel is like, particularly if you're not a Bill Burr, you're not a straight white guy in this, or in Mark Maron or whatever, is you're just like, why is it so much fucking harder?
Right.
And Deborah Vance has that incredible monologue in season 1 where she's like, you have to claw and fight and claw, and it never gets easier.
Yeah.
And that's what makes her such a hard ass. But she has this way with Ava that they understand each other.
Yes.
But it doesn't make the job easier to get.
It doesn't.
They can soften with each other, and Deborah and Ava can have a nice relationship, but it does not make the industry better. And I think that is, and but also watching a woman of that age succeed in this environment.
Inspiring.
Absolutely
is. I'm going to stop talking about it because I feel like I'm about to spoil something for you and the audience. Okay. But do you have any other news for idiots that you'd like to discuss that maybe I didn't bring up today?
News for idiots?
Yeah.
Just that my special is coming soon. And so I am going to be taping that, and people can find it when it happens, and they can follow me at It's Rory James and know when it does happen. But otherwise, no, I've been in addition to watching Hacks, I was watching leave as much time for this as you want, but
Right.
I told you I watched the documentary about Ashley Madison.
You did tell me that.
The Affairs documentary.
You did tell me that.
Like, it's always the people who show off. Like, here's the thing: is I love coming over and seeing you and Jackson because you and Jackson aren't showy. And when you guys like were at a wedding a few weeks ago, I was like, oh my god, cute pic, love this pic. There are people who are like so purposely showy where you're like, what are you trying to prove to us all? And then, of course, in the Ashley Madison documentary, it's these couples. Well, of course, he was sleeping with everybody the entire time. But isn't it weird with this weddings culture and this like couples YouTube or Instagram culture that like people are trying to show off their relationships in a way where it's like that's not. No one wants that.
No one wants
you're
it.
rubbing it in
and
their
it
face.
also is like, to me, it's like, this is personal. Like the relationship is between me and Jackson. It's not between me, Jackson, and whoever's in the comments. So the idea of like us having like a couple's YouTube channel or like a couple's Instagram, like A, he would never do that. And B, it never crossed my mind because it's not right. It's also not sustainable. It can't be healthy for a relationship.
No.
Like you don't want to be work colleagues who are looking at the analytics of your latest like couples posts together. Like no judgment to people who do it, but it just seems like a lot of pressure. It seems like a lot of pressure if you're going to be that public and that if you're monetizing your relationship in that way. It seems scary. And it's, again, we love everybody. Do what you want to do. But to me, it just adds a lot of pressure. And relationships are already hard. Don't add pressure to them.
Well, yeah. And not that I know how they're supposed to work, but
well,
I don't have the secret, you guys.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break and then be back with more 2Gay Mats, the podcast. Okay. Could you press the same button you pressed before? Uh-oh. No. Go to the top right and get those back. No. Just go to the top right corner. All right. Now go back. Nice. Love it. Yes, you're doing great. It's all for show. It's not real life. That would be pretty wild to have an open relationship with the chat. What? Someone probably already made this joke already. I like Matt's new haircut and dye. They did, but it's still funny. Ooh, one's monetizing their kids is different. That is evil. That is
I agree.
So fucking wrong. And I think I've already had a monologue about this on the podcast, but it's like they aren't even choosing it. That's wrong. Wrong. It's the insecurity to show off so much. LOL. Oh, but again, we love everybody. No judgment about if you're in a couple and you guys have
everybody.
They do. We love it. Not Donald Trump and not Eminem because they're on my fucking list. I'm trying to think. We got one email this week that I'll talk about. What's going on, you guys? While you guys were doing your podcast, I broke the news that Megan is coming with a new album. Oh, great! I can already see the TikTok 2Gay Mats attack Taylor Swift for having a long album. I hope not. Hope nobody's watching who wants to make that TikTok because it's not what happened. It's not what happened. So what's everybody up to? How's everybody feeling? I want to kind of look at the album cover for the Megan Thee Stallion album because someone said it was kind of Mariah vibes, and then someone said it was awful. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know which one it is. I know.
What do you mean by that?
I know. We love the caution cover. I'm trying to... Okay. Yeah, well, I want to see the cover. News. I bet... Is it on her Instagram? I bet it's on her Instagram. That would make sense. Will you look up Megan's Instagram for me?
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not finding it, but I'm sure it'll come up. I could see a good SNL skit where there's a couple setting in for an intimate evening and then just them and their YouTube comment section. That's funny. There also is a great episode of The Other Two show we miss and love so much.
My absolute favorites.
Where Jimmy Fowley, who pops up as just gay with a different life every time you see him. And one of his lives was couple Instagrammer, which is cute. I was so anxious when I seen the stream about the Trump verdict, and then when I found out it was guilty, it felt like a weight lifted. Absolutely. On Insta, on X, I couldn't find her IG. You couldn't find her Instagram? I hope her Instagram's still up.
Yeah, I'm having her.
Really? Oh, no. Megan, where are you? I just want to see if we agree that it looks like... Oh, here we go. Girl, this does not look like a Mariah album cover.
No.
I mean, I guess maybe there's a butterfly illusion.
She's in a cocoon.
She is in a cocoon, but she spread her wings.
It's an AI image.
Oh, it is. It's it's not my favorite, but I like Megan a lot, and I think she's had a lot.
No, I do too.
a lot of great visuals for this era. Yeah, I missed the other two. Huh, LOL, not Michael. Jeff, Michael Smith was not blocked by Megan. I came in late, but Eminem is so gross. I never liked his misogynistic lyrics. I only liked his song Lose Yourself, and I can't believe what he said about Megan. Agreed. That album cover video is one of my favorite videos you guys have ever done. Oh, thank you. M for Mariah. Oh, show us. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera. But
I think you got it.
You kind of see it. See that weird M? No, I mean the large ass M and the butterfly illusion. There's a large ass M. That's true.
Her name is Megan.
Her name is Megan, so it makes sense.
It would be nice if they collaborated. And then,
it seems like it's time.
Yeah.
Because they hate all the same people. I would love a Mariah and Megan.
And it would be the trifecta of her Ariana money laundering remix
right
moment.
I mean, I still want Megan. I still want Cardi. I want Mariah and Cardi. Because I love that conversation between Mariah. You guys should try and see if there's like a YouTube clip of the audio from this conversation. It's just so fucking funny of Mariah talking to Cardi B about like how they both grew up and Cardi being like,
"Oh, I remember."
What's the quote? Because you remember the quote, right?
The quote was, "Mariah, you don't understand. They were sucking dick at 12 years old." And Mariah goes, "I know." And you're like,
it's just Mariah's clearly from a time where you did not talk about that kind of thing.
But Cardi did. Cardi did, and Cardi is real, and it was nice for them to connect.
It was nice.
And Mariah said that she liked what was the third single from Cardi's first album, the one that was like a Touch My Body-ish beat.
Be Careful?
Yes.
Thank you. That was a good.
Thank you.
I like that album.
I loved that. And that song also, especially.
Luna, this is Rory. He's so happy to be here and happy to meet you.
Hi, Luna.
Hi, Luna.
I know. I'm not Matt Steele, but he'll be back soon.
He will.
And he has better hair than me.
I'm so excited about the High Republic era of Star Wars. Oh, I'm glad that people like Star Wars. We love everybody.
We love everybody.
I'm like, have I seen I think I watched Star Wars movies at like boy sleepovers as a kid.
Well, I remember watching them be re-released in the late 90s, and I watched those.
Did you enjoy them?
They came out back in the theaters. Yes, that was a big thing.
I don't remember that.
97, 99, and then the episode 1 happened.
This was before that.
Yes.
Are y'all down for the new Charlie XCX album this week? I mean, maybe we'll listen to it, but I don't think we'll do a video about it. Love the Chapel Roan Show. Thank you. Big Chapel fan. Because you're not a Charlie XCX person, are you?
I have no issues with her. I just don't know much about.
Yeah, I don't know much about her either. I mean, I've listened to an album or two at people's request.
Very happy when she crosses my path.
Yeah, she seems like a nice lady. I like 360, and I think the 360 remix has Robin on it. So if you're collaborating with Robin, you're someone I like. I love The Force Awakens. Yeah, people love Star Wars shit, so you're not alone. Okay, I think we have one email today. I think we got one, and it's kind of a thinker. So you got to think about giving good advice.
Okay.
I always think about that.
I don't often.
I think you will. I think you're going to be great about it. But I always am like, when it's like life stuff, I'm like, God, I hope I'm not giving someone shitty advice and they like take it. And then
you're right. Happens. You're right.
Rory for Devos 2. Hey, I didn't even make it into Devos, and there was a character based on me. So if Rory gets into Devos 2 and I don't.
Listen, I'm in line, you guys. Thank you, though. I appreciate that.
I'm a fan of the new Disney canon. The Star Wars fandom can be very toxic, unfortunately. Charlie XCX is like a very effective stock plug-in for the music industry. My dad made us take a trip to Chicago as a kid to watch a Star Wars movie at a fancy theater. Chicago was great. The movie was not. That's funny. I only watched Star Wars if Hayden Christensen is in it. Did he used to be married to Rachel Bilson?
Yes.
Okay, great. I love Rachel Bilson.
Sure.
She's great. I mean, did you watch The OC ever?
No.
Oh. She's a
But
queen.
I know it was a big thing.
Oh, it was a big thing. And she was great in that.
Yeah, no, I know it was.
And Misha was, very, very big at the time. Big artist.
What's the email? Are you?
We're not
it's not
recording yet. No, we're just talking.
Well, you teased it. And I was
sorry,
so excited. You were like, you have to really give good advice, or else you never know what's going to happen. And I was like, what?
I'm just going to tell you what it is when we go into it, but I just want you to get in the right mindset.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Only good things are going to happen.
Okay.
Did you guys listen to the new Era Star album? I don't know if y'all are into Afrobeats. No, I haven't heard it.
I love Afrobeats, but I have not heard that album, no.
I always end advice with, that's just me, though, so I'm not responsible for the aftermath. That's a good idea, Sarah. That's a way to cover your fucking tracks, which I appreciate. So how do you feel about it now that you're a streamer? How does it feel for you?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I do feel pressure to keep up with the reading
You
of.
don't have to read every word.
No, I feel like I do.
You
I feel
don't.
like it's
No one will be
respectful.
offended. No one's like, oh, Rory didn't read my comment. How dare? Uh-oh. It's got the coughs.
No.
You okay? Wrong
It's my
pipe?
cough on. Yes. Wrong pipe.
pipe.
Darling.
OMG, LMAO. Palmer trying to find a branch from Star Wars to something he actually likes. That was amazing. The OC
Sounds
was
like
great.
you.
Hey, I did though, didn't
does
I?
sound like you.
You got to make that transition. This is how things work. Because it's like, I got nothing on Star Wars. I did see some. I think I was in a theater and I watched one of those new ones. I fell asleep. I don't know if that's helpful. It's one of the ones they were in like a... It's like the Galactic Senate. The whole movie was in the fucking Senate. I was like, God, I'm bored. And I was like, I was just getting out of high school, going into college. I didn't need...
Is Jackson into Star Wars?
He watched... He'll watch a Star Wars offshoot thing. I don't think he's like super into Star Wars.
Where's your overlap in terms of the stuff that you guys watch?
Oh, we watch hacks together. It's like comedies and stuff.
Good.
And like some reality.
Good
If it's
taste.
like
Good taste.
why is Rory so obsessed with us being the chat, I guess it's just natural.
You guys, I just care. I care.
Like Beyonce said on 4. I care. Yeah, I think it's silly. Matt P, I'm like a Star Wars book reader type of fan. I read the books, the comics, all the shows, and the movies. Wow. We need to find a Mariah connection to Star Wars. Okay. I'm like, who is even in those Star Wars? Is there music connection? I don't think so. I bet it was nominated. I bet one of the Star Wars was re-released the same year that Mariah put out Glitter.
Actually, I think the first one was re-released in '97 when she put out
Butterfly, her
So
best album. There you
Yes.
go.
You're welcome, kids.
Can you believe that Apple Music thing, by the way? I don't know if we even talked about it.
Well, I saw it on the episode you guys did about how I don't acknowledge rankings of top albums of none of that is, and also I don't like rap beefs and someone's supposed to be better than somebody else. Like, I don't care. I literally don't care. And I don't want to participate in it because it goes back to that Billie Eilish fans being annoying. Or no, excuse me, Taylor fans being annoying on my Billie Eilish post. It's like, I don't want to play this game.
You could just enjoy what you like.
Enjoy what you enjoy. They're all great. It's all great, you guys.
The Apple Music was wrong, though. I am mad at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why you can't spend the energy.
I know. I just have to get it out. I can't sit with me.
Fair.
Can't
Totally
sit on my
fair.
heart. My poor
Totally
heart.
fair.
It can only take so much.
Totally fair.
Rainbow and Phantom Menace were released in '99. Yes.
They were.
I was listening to Phantom Menace. Rainbow the other day.
You were not listening to
I was
Phantom
not
Menace.
listening to Phantom Menace. But fuck, Crybaby is so good. What an excellent piece of music. Like the highs on Rainbow are so high.
Yes.
Can't take that away. Heartbreaker, every version.
Yes.
Crybaby, classics.
Yes.
Like what you like, absolutely. Roy looks like Matthew McFadden. Oh, interesting. From Succession? I don't know if I see it.
I've gotten that once
Oh,
before.
really? Okay. I guess I
So
kind of see it.
Luna or Layla? No.
Luna.
Luna.
Do you want me to zoom in to your eyes?
Listen, my eyes are great. I'm getting used to
I
this.
know.
Excuse me.
I'm kidding.
I'm an old woman. Is what's happened. Thank you. I'll take it. Yes. But yes, no. It's interesting who people think you remind them of.
Yeah. I don't get anybody really.
Well, you're unlike anybody.
Very unique. Very unique.
I think you would all agree. But whenever there's another Rory, I'm always so mad.
Oh, really?
I'm like, no, there doesn't get to be another Rory.
See, when your name is Matt, it's just like,
Yeah.
we're all in this together.
You're all Matts.
We are all Matts here.
All happening.
Okay, should we do part 2?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so you got to press your record again. I like that this is so stressful for you.
No, I got it this time.
Yeah. Great job. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to 2K Mats. And if you enjoy this podcast, please make sure to go to your Spotify or your Apple Podcast and leave us a 5-star rating or review. It would really help us out with the algorithms in both of those applications. And again, we only accept 5 stars. If you have something negative to say about us, you have to just send an email to yourself because we don't want to hear about it. If you really enjoy us, go to patreon.com/2gaymats and become a patron. And for as little as $5 a month, you can join the Discord and hang out with friends you just haven't met yet. And for higher, tiers, you can actually request a review or a reaction of your very own. And Rory,
yes.
Are you ready to get into our email segment?
I'm so excited. Let's do it.
All right. So this is Email My Heart. This is the section of the podcast where we, answer some questions that you guys might have. And this email is
Who's
from...
the new guy, they said?
Oh,
it's me. It's
new
me,
guy is
guys.
Rory.
I love this.
The email is from Shay, and the subject line is "The rent is due." Hello, guys. I manage a luxury high-rise. About a year ago, my best friend of 20 years recommended my building to his mother. I did bring up to him that it's no shade, but his mother might not be able to afford the $3,000 a month rent for her one bedroom, but he insisted family would be helping and everything would be okay. She also did income qualify, so I left it alone. Fast forward, and she has not paid in 6 months. Corporate is asking questions. She has done so much for me growing up, and I love my best friend so much. I just can't do this anymore. I can also get in trouble for discrimination, for favoritism, if other residents found out. Today, I had to file her for eviction, and I am terrified to tell my best friend. I'm honestly thinking of running and hiding somewhere. With the history we have, would you guys cancel the eviction filing and see if there was anything else you could do?
I'll let you start with this one. This one's a hard one.
It's hard. I think at the end of the day, you warned your friend, and I assume you warned the mom. Everyone was very aware of the situation, and she went through the process of making sure that she qualified financially to be in that apartment. After that, I think to protect yourself, you can't offer special treatment. Like, if you've done everything you can do and we're 6 months out and corporate is asking you directly questions, I think you kind of have to go through the process as you are supposed to for your job. I would tell the friend, I would tell the mom if you can, because you guys do have a personal relationship, let them know that like your hands are tied. This is not what you wanted. But I don't know. I feel like you could be getting yourself into a lot of trouble if you cancel it and the other people in the building find out. I don't know. It just seems like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I also think that like sometimes it's that thing where like favors get taken advantage of.
Yes.
And everyone wants to make sure that everyone that they know and care about has a place to live.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
But when things get when favors get, it's you give an inch and someone takes a mile and stuff like that. And that doesn't necessarily mean that someone needs to be out of a place to live.
Sure.
It just is sort of more of about open communication, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
And so maybe if that means, a buffer month or whatever, like there are ways for that to be figured out.
Yeah.
But,
it's a very unfortunate situation. I hate that you're being put, because the thing is, you have been put in this rock and hard place situation, and that's really unfortunate for you. But yeah, I think you are the one who's in this tough situation, but you're also kind of like the victim of like, I tried to warn you that this could happen, and I wish we had not come to this place. It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate and sad, but I think you're doing the right thing. If there's a way to reach out personally to your tenant or, your friend, I would do that as well, just to explain a little bit more than you can do with just an eviction filing on the door. But I think you just got to do what you got to do at this point.
And I'm a big believer in friends are there. We're all there to try to make each other's lives easier.
Absolutely.
But when that crosses the barrier of you not only making your friend's life harder, but maybe potentially jeopardizing their job.
Exactly.
That's no longer having a favor
It's
done.
not.
That's you doing damage to your friend who's been kind to you.
Absolutely. So I'm sorry that this is happening, Shay, and let us know how it all shakes out. But it's very unfortunate that you've been put in this position, and we are thinking of and rooting for you. So, Rory, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What has been giving you moments, darling? Is there anything this similar to the end of your podcast where you talk about things that have been making you very excited over the week? And I just wonder, is there anything that you've watched, you've consumed, or just something happening in the world that's really carried you through this past week that people want to know?
Well, as a comic, one of the greatest shows I've watched in a really long time is Hacks on HBO, now Max. Mm-hmm. But I do notice that Max is carrying on the HBO brand of cool shit.
Yes.
So it's cool shit because HBO made it, usually. But season 3 of Hacks is the best season yet. And as a comic, I really enjoy watching Jean Smart as Deborah Vance. And I also relate to Hannah Einbinder as Ava, her writer, because I relate to Deborah is fucking like, why the fuck am I not like more respected and a bigger deal? And I relate to her writer Ava, who's like, I know I'm really funny, but I'm also kind of a dumbass, and also there's part of both of those characters that I relate to. Meg Stelter as her agent's assistant is, but like Meg Stelter is my queen. The things that come out of her mouth,
brilliant.
Couldn't have been in the script because only she could have come up with them
for sure.
And so you told me I have one more episode left before the end of the season. I've been savoring them, but to answer your question, Hacks is. And you don't have to be a comic like me to appreciate it, but you could just be feeling like frustrated and and also invigorated in whatever it is that you do. Like, come on, man! Like I'm fucking like I'm really like I'm almost there. Like, what is it gonna take? And also Deborah Vance is so funny and she's so sharp and she's so better than she's ever been. And so I think that show really covers, and it covers the misogyny, it covers a lot of racism, it covers a lot of sexism, it covers a lot of all of this stuff that like people, it's not just about being talented.
Yes.
You have to be talented and then all this other stuff.
And very lucky.
You know?
Yes.
But you love Hacks too, and we were talking about it before the show.
It is, yes, it is an excellent show. I can't sing its praises enough, and it gets better every season. And I don't want to talk about it too much because I truly feel like I'm going to spoil it. But yes, I'm with you that you are absolutely right that it is the best show on television and the show that I was looking most forward to every single week. Do you have more to say on Hacks or?
No, I wanted to hear what your thing was.
There's only one other show that I've been looking forward to much every week. And guys, I know, unfortunately, Rory, much like Matt Steele, does not watch Bravo, does not care about a reality show like this. But I just have to say, this past week was the season finale of Summer House. Summer House is young people who work and live in New York, but on the weekends they have a share house in the Hamptons and they like party and whatever. It's been on for 8 years.
Okay.
Two of the cast members, Lindsay and Carl, have gotten engaged, and they got engaged last season, and then it came out at the end of filming of this season that's just now airing that they broke off the engagement, and we've been watching this season knowing that we were leading up to this engagement being broken off the entire time. So the final episode of the season is basically they end summer. They basically what is usually the end of the show is their last weekend in the summer house. They have a final party and it's a big like Mad Max kind of theme. And these two people just cannot get on the same page. Carl is very much like, okay, I am sober now. I also don't have a job outside of the show right now. I don't know what I want to do. Do I want to start a podcast? Do I want to be an actor? Do I want to do like open a non-alcoholic bar? And Lindsay is very straightforward, very hard-nosed, and very like, that's a bad idea, that's a bad idea, and that's a bad idea. But she's right. Honestly, all those ideas are bad, but she doesn't like say them she doesn't say it in the nicest way. Like she's not really giving him, he's requesting for more warmth and softness, which does feel like a little gendered in a way. That's annoying. But I see what he's saying. Like she's just not saying things in the kindest, most compassionate way. So they've been having essentially the same argument for, I'd say, the past month and a half. And he's also a sober person. Much earlier in the season, she accused him of using, which honestly I think would have been grounds for breakup at that point. But they stayed together. And then basically they have this final party in which everyone's having fun, but Lindsay and Carl, because they're fighting the whole time. This would generally be the end of the show. And I guess we're going to see what happens at the reunion as to like why cameras picked back up. But suddenly there were cameras following them in New York. Carl sits down with his friend Kyle and is like, I haven't spoken to Lindsay since that weekend, and I need to talk with her. I just clicked with me that she's never going to change who she is, and I want to have a conversation with her to see if we can get on the right track. They have this conversation. He basically lays it all out. He's like, you have called me and think that I am not a man, spineless, a little bitch. Like, you don't speak to me after all of this time. We've been in this house for 3 days. You've locked me out of doors. You closed doors on me. You've broken glass. Like,
and how old are they?
They are almost 40. They're late 30s.
Oh,
yes.
So they're not 23.
No,
okay.
they're adults.
Okay.
Lindsay is a person who comes from a lot of trauma. Like, she it kind of expects that relationship fights get this bad, but they don't. Like, truly, these are two people who should not have been together. And Carl is telling her straight out, like, basically on camera, I think we need to not get married. I think we should not have this wedding. We should break it off. And then he talks to producer afterwards. She goes to the bedroom and calls her dad. And he's like, I know she's gonna spin this. She's gonna say she was blindsided. And they cut to her and she's like, I was blindsided. And it's like, this is good editing. But it basically, he's like, I know, because very recently, I can't explain all of Bravo to you, but there was a big Scandival. Do you remember Scandival?
Yes, of course. I know about that.
They're living in the wake of Scandival. And so it's very obvious that he's the worst thing that can happen to him is that people think he's like Tom Sandoval. He didn't cheat on this girl. The situations are very different. Lindsay is not Ariana. Ariana is pretty kind and like the easiest person to get along with. Lindsay is not that. So I just must say, as much like not fun as this was really to watch, Scandival was more fun because it was more mind-blowing and more out of the blue. And this, like, we've been like trudging towards all season. I have to say that people blindly supporting Lindsay versus Carl, I think is a little odd because Lindsay is tough. Lindsay is not easy. She is not the wronged person here. These are two people who should not have ever gotten married, should not have ever been together. And what Paige says, and I completely agree with, is like, he did you a favor. Like, it doesn't feel like it now, but the fact that you aren't getting married is the best thing for both of you. You would not want the rest of your life to be constantly fighting, constantly in couples therapy. Like, yes, relationships are work, but they shouldn't be this much work. And I'm wondering about what's going to happen to them next season because I assume they're both going to be back on the show, still sharing this house. So they're just not going to speak. I'm excited to see it. It took a long time for Summer House to get good. I would say it's season 8 now, and it just got good maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago. They had a spinoff called Summer House Martha's Vineyard. This happens in Martha's Vineyard. It's over the course of 2 weeks.
Another Summer House, and it's an entirely black cast. The first season is good.
It's great, and the first season is very good. The second season has its problems, but worked and got a lot of talk on social. And it came out this week that Bravo is putting Summer House Martha's Vineyard on pause, which basically means it's been canceled. I feel that Bravo cancels every like minority-led show that's not a Housewives so fucking quickly. Summer House got no ratings, the regular one, for years. Like literally, they'd have to keep bringing.
They didn't give it a chance.
They didn't give it a chance to grow and to become something great. Like they did the same thing with Southern Charm New Orleans. They did the same thing with Family Karma, which was this excellent show starring like more queer people than have ever been on the network. It was all like these Miami, these Indian families in Miami. It was a brilliant show, one of our favorites to watch in this house. They canceled that immediately, and I just don't understand why shows like Summer House get this long ramp up to become good, to become juggernauts on the network, while things like Summer House Martha's Vineyard don't even get the chance to grow and become what they could become. Because this was an interesting group. There were issues on season 2. It wasn't a great season, but they should have been given a little bit more of a runway than 2 years to become a mega hit. And I'm just bothered by these shows always getting canceled when it's all black casts or all non-white casts. It's like they're the first to go because, there's a show like Southern Hospitality, which is a spinoff of Southern Charm, all white people. No one watches it. Just got renewed for season 3. What the fuck is up with that?
Well, it does sound like, I mean, this is not the first time that Bravo's been accused of that kind of thing.
It's not. And I realize, like, reality is not in the place it was. Bravo's not as much of a juggernaut as it was maybe 5 years ago. I understand it, but it's upsetting to me. It's just upsetting to me. I enjoyed Martha's Vineyard and wanted to see more. I enjoyed Family Karma and wanted to see more. And I will be seeing more of OG Summer House, but justice for those others.
Yes.
All right.
And I, as you established, I'm not as familiar with Bravo, but I don't appreciate how there's these unequal rules for success.
That's the thing.
In reality
TV.
It's
not fair. It's very much not fair. But I think that's all I have to say. I had a lot of feelings. I had to get out.
No, they were great.
They were great. Even if no one was understanding what I was saying, I'm glad I could get the feelings out. Like, this is my therapy. People say that about everything but therapy, don't they? But whatever. I feel good now. So, Rory, thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. And also thank you for educating me about the Bravo rules. And I need to know these things.
I am so happy. I am so happy. I hope you can pass along the brilliance onto someone else. Is there anything else you'd want to tell the people before you say your final goodbye?
No, I just follow me at It's Rory James on socials. And I'm taping my special this summer. I hope you guys can be there. And Mr. Matt Palmer, thank you for having me.
Of course.
And I absolutely, you guys, don't worry. Matt Steele will be back. This is just a placeholder. This is like it's almost like I'm like a dummy that just sits here and like someone does the puppet mouth but Steele comes back the next time. It's fine. But thank you guys for putting up with me this week. It's fun to read your comments. I'm enjoying meeting you guys in the chat.
Yes, the chat's always
really
fun.
The chat is fun.
And thank you guys so much for listening and or watching the podcast. We'll be back next week with more 2Gay Mats, the podcast. Bye.
Bye, you guys.
You can stop your recording. We did it. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh, we did it. Also, why are all the minority shows on Sunday? Why not have Martha's Vineyard come on after the OG Summer House? Great question. They do love to have like non-white Sundays on Bravo. Don't know what that's about. But I just can't believe it got canceled. I was so in. Thank you for the live. Oh, thank you for being here, Colors. Love you guys.
The
Bye.
chat is really fun.
The chat is fun.
Everyone's
And that's
really
the thing
cool.
is it's kind of hard because when we do the podcast recording part, I like generally don't talk too much about the chat, but it's okay. It's fine. Just because it's like, oh, if I'm listening to this, I don't want to feel left out. But it's hard not to because all the comments are gold.
And they deserve to be, acknowledged for being contributors. I love these little
Sorbic
cute...
acid. Thank you, Rory. Baritones unite.
You know what? Whatever it takes.
LOL, not me getting the times wrong because of daylight savings and only showing up now. Hey, Montana, it's never too late. We're so happy to have you.
Never too late, Montana.
Montana's in Australia.
We love. Oh wow!
I know, icon.
That's an extra level of commitment,
right? I think it is like 2 afternoon there though. So
good lord.
I know.
And on Monday, right?
Oh, I don't know what day it would be. Is it Monday tomorrow. Or is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, well, happy Monday, Montana. So yeah, do you feel like you have a future in streaming?
I mean, all of this is so exciting, and I love it. It's very fun.
Thank you for this great live. Well, thank you guys. This has been so much fun. And yeah, I guess we'll sign off. It's getting a little hot in here. But we love you, and we will be back. Well, I will be back.
Never
next
too far, Tyler.
week.
Never too far.
Yes. Never too far away. I'll be back next week with Matt Steele. But Rory, honestly, not many people can do this. This is not an easy thing.
Not a lot of people have number ones.
Not everybody has that to their credit. And to your credit, I think you did a great job.
No, honestly, to be invited on is an honor.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Every time.
I appreciate it.
Every time. Time to relax. Well deserved. We love you guys. Have a great evening. And I'll see you next week.
Bye, you guys. I'm surprised you didn't do the little...